guys, Ride or Drive. We're back in the garage. Today we're talking about slip-on exhaust. So been looking for a slip-on system for my Tri-Glide. I was kind of leaning towards maybe like the Cobra or possibly the Shark Road, and I was kind of looking around and I did come up with a slip-on that I did get, and that is the SNS /cut, which I'll show you the part number here. So this works with a few other bikes, not only the Tri-Glide, but on the Tri-Glide it's a 1.75 inlet size. So I ended up getting these off of Facebook Marketplace. I picked it up from someone who had a shop. Evidently a customer ordered the exhaust and never picked it up, so he gave it to me for like a really good deal. Only thing is I wanted chrome. These are not chrome, these are powder coated black, but on the Tri-Glide you don't really see the exhaust anyways, so it's perfectly fine, no big deal. So I wanted to do an install video on this, but I have heard that trying to get these slip-ons on the Tri-Glide is a living hell. It's the same thing with the freewheeler. It is not an easy install or install and removal of the slip-ons. So on the Tri-Glide, I'm going to show you an example on my stock pipe. There's the mounting bolts, the mounting holes for the bolts that go in there, and that goes under the Tri-Glide. So these are very difficult to get to. There is not a lot of room to get them on or off, or on rather. So I didn't do the video because I figured I'd probably be struggling to get these off. Like I said, a couple of videos people were talking about it's a living hell to get these bolts off. There is a way to do it, kind of a trick to get them off, and I'll go over what that is on this here. Unfortunately, I did not make a video of how it sounded stock, but you can probably find videos just to get an example of how it does sound stock. Anyhow, so the exhaust is actually held on by these two bolts, and then also that's the front of it, that it's held by an exhaust clamp. That's where the exhaust clamp actually goes over this part of it. So the way to get these off is, what you want to do is you want to loosen that exhaust clamp, and once you loosen that exhaust clamp, you can slide the muffler forward and back. You can slide these in and out because you'll have all this room to slide them in and out. Now, the trick is, once you get that exhaust clamp off, again, you can slide these forward and back, and that'll give you just enough room to get to those to the bolts to actually take them off. Now, what I used is a 1/2 inch ratcheting wrench. That's the way to get them off. And it also, I use one that has the adjustable head that kind of bends like that, and it made it a lot easier than getting just a regular wrench where you put it on, twist it, or you to loosen it, and then you gotta lift it up and then try to find it again and do this and that. With the ratcheting, it's much easier because you're just going back and forth to get that bolt off. Again, I've got a wrench with a adjustable head, which much easier to get these off and then get them on. Getting them on, it's another hassle because of the limited room. It's kind of hard to find where that bolt is going to screw in, the little screw holes. It's kind of hard because you have to hold the exhaust up, and then with your other fingers try to get them to just get started. And then you do the same where you move the exhaust back and forth. So once you have that clamp that's loosened, again, you have the adjustment. You can either put these pipes, stick them out a little bit farther or inner. It's up to your liking. I put them a little bit in, but that's the trick to getting this off. Now, at this time, I do have the dB killers. I'm going to do videos of how they sound with them and without them. I don't know, these, I guess they're baffles. I don't know how long they are, but they are held on by just 3 screws there. So it should be pretty easy to get them off. I will say that on idle, it is a little bit louder, a little bit deeper, but not much. The cold start, there's not much difference other than it being a little bit deeper, but it's not overly loud. Under load is where you really do hear them. When you hit this throttle, you will hear it a lot louder than stock. So it's definitely an increase in sound, but it's not, you know, annoyingly loud. And that's what I was looking for. I didn't want something that I'm going to be touring with and I'm just going to hear nothing but drone for hours. That's not something that I would enjoy if I did do a long ride. I don't want to listen to the exhaust for hours on end. So that's basically kind of a rundown of how to get them off. Again, I didn't do the install video because I figured I'd probably struggle to get these things off, and sure enough, they were not easy to get off. It's very tedious to get these 2 bolts off on each side, and it's very tedious to put it back on. And then again, you don't have a lot of room. So there is a bracket that goes on the exhaust itself, the slip-ons. In between the exhaust is a rubber hanger. That's what's on the bike. So once you loosen the clamp that I mentioned, you'll have this room where you can slide it back and forth, and that's going to give you enough room to get them off. So I believe if it's pulled, if it's pulled in, you won't have access to this bolt. It'll be covered. So that's when you gotta kind of pull it back, and then the hanger will slide forward, and that's how you get it off. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but probably look at other videos too, and you can see how they installed it. So there it is, guys. Once again, the slash cut SNS slip-ons in powder coated black. So I'll continue the video with sound clips of how they sound, but I'm really thinking about taking off these baffles, dB killers as they call them, just to see what kind of sound they make, and if they're too loud, then I'll put them back on. So stay tuned for those audio clips. I'll be posting those after this video. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, this is going to be a warm start of the exhaust. Louder than stock. It's got a little bit of a deep rumble to it. Sounds good. Let me rev it up. Again, it's kind of hard to get video of this. Oh yeah, definitely louder than stock. I still have the little baffle things, what they call the dB killers in. I might take them off just to see how they sound. Definitely sounds good. It's not overly annoyingly loud. So there you go, guys. I'm gonna try to get some footage under load, little flybys, drive-bys, whatever the hell you want to call them. That way you can get a taste of what it sounds like, but it's not bad. Alright guys, I'll continue the video later.